I'm Matt Stash.
And I'm Rita and Matt.
Welcome to Beereviews, where we review beer in a way that you, the casual beer drinker, can understand.
This episode is brought to you by the letter I for IKEA. As in, we're sitting on an IKEA couch this evening, rather than the floor.
That's right. Also, this episode is brought to you by the letter R for Rembrandt lighting, as well as the letter O for no overhead lighting.
See, you thought that you were coming here just to learn about beer, but you're actually getting an education.
All right. So, what are we starting with first?
Oh, we're playing a little game of cleaning out my refrigerator.
All right.
So what we have is a out-of-season Leinenkugel's Oktoberfest.
All right, Oktoberfest, because it's like mid-January.
It is.
All right. Hey, you know what? This is a twist-off. All right, so tell me about Leinenkugel Oktoberfest.
A perfect beer to celebrate the fall season, featuring Munich Pale and caramel malts with 4 specialty hops. Brewed with pride by the Leinenkugel family since 1867.
Oh, I wonder if I can taste that pride.
I'm pretty sure I tasted pride in August.
So, Oktoberfest beers. What do you know about Oktoberfest beers, Rita?
Spaten? No, I'm just saying things now.
Right.
I'm pretending to be German.
Loud noises.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Ein, zwei.
Du bist ein großen Schmack. Es schmeckt nach einmal. Anyways, from what I understand about Oktoberfest beers, and this is to say I understand very little about Oktoberfest beers, Oktoberfest, I believe, is actually supposed to be in September. I blame it on the Julian calendar, I think, although that explanation did not pass one of my coworkers' scrutiny when I talked about calendars and Oktoberfest and whatnot. I think they start preparing in March with beers that they lager until September or something like that. Anyways.
Now this is a Marzen.
It is a Marzen?
It's a German-style Marzen.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. The March beers, they make them in March and they let them rest and age and settle down until September when they have Oktoberfest.
Now Leinenkugel's does have an interesting line of beers. The Oktoberfest is probably one of their more, mass market. They have some specialty. They're particularly known for their shandies. They have a lemon shandy, which of course is beer brewed with lemonade. They have an orange shandy, which is beer brewed with orange juice. And they have a seasonal, it's a cranberry ginger shandy. They also have a vanilla porter. This is, those are kind of frou-frou girly beers a little bit. This might be, more appealing to the drinker of beers that don't involve fruit.
I have 2 things to say about that.
This make me burp.
Whenever people say a real man doesn't drink whatever beer.
I just said frou-frou. I said they're frou-frou beers.
You said girly. I say a real man drinks whatever the hell beer he wants to drink. Unless it's Smirnoff Ice.
That's not a beer. That's a malt beverage.
Well, still.
And it'll give you a hell of a hangover.
I wouldn't know. But what I'll say about this, being that it's a Marzen, it's kind of like a lager. And as we recall, lagers are clear, clean, and crisp, refreshing. This is not as mouthy as some of the Leinenkugel stuff that I had before, which has been a lot more on the wheat beer side of things. And it is making me burp. I'm trying to finish my statement before I have a burp. So anyways, this is a lot less mouthy. It doesn't have that fizzy, kind of weedy taste in it. It's a little bit more like a mass market domestic lager. So if you're looking to get into something that's less like a mass market domestic lager, but you like mass market domestic lagers, this Leinenkugel Oktoberfest may be your gateway beer to getting you there.
Available again in probably 6 more months. 8.
And then it'll be off for about 6 months and then back.
Now I will say that the last time I had this beer was a couple months ago during the Oktoberfest season. And I don't remember it. I don't think it's particularly memorable.
It's not. It's unremarkable, but I will remember the fact that as far as Leinenkugel goes, this is strikingly different than the other beers that I've had from Leinenkugel. Okay, so what's the next beer that we're doing?
Newcastle Scotch Ale.
Scotch Ale? Is that just ale with scotch in it?
No.
I imagine not.
Scotch ale is a classic brew that originated in Edinburgh, Scotland in the 18th century. Rich, full-flavored, and fulfilling, our Scotch ale is a blend of malts with toffee notes and a mellow hop. The beauty of this style is its fulsome malt character that is simply mouth-watering.
It's a weird word to use for a beer. Mouth-watering beer.
Right. Collaboration Edition Scotch Ale. This is the Caledonian.
Oh, so...
Brewed by the Caledonian Brewery in Edinburgh, UK.
Okay. I always thought that was a place on Mars, Caledonia.
I thought it. Well, the Muse has an album called The Knights of Caledonia. No. Yes.
Sidonia, sorry.
Yeah.
Alright, so, it said something about caramel and toffee notes, and it is very dark.
It is quite dark. Still clear. It is filtered.
It's not like a stout or anything like that. It's a very dark ale.
Drinks like a stout. I really like stout.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to describe it as, yeah, because it does have a toffee, caramel, like, chocolatey kind of coffee kind of flavor to it. Just in the aftertaste, you get kind of a little bit.
I pick it up like immediately.
Really? It's not like Guinness. It's not thick and creamy either. It's definitely it's actually remarkably crisp or refreshing or something.
So I'd say Newcastle Scotch Ale. I don't know if it's a seasonal, but if you like drinking Guinness, but it's too heavy for you, Guinness for the summer, maybe. Compared
to Newcastle's regular ale, this is considerably darker, but I like it. It's not as it's something different. But it does have that sort of stouty kind of taste to it, like a porter. It's kind of a chocolatey kind of
There's a thickness to it.
But again,
get down to thickness.
Not transparent the way a stout would be. It is definitely translucent. It's dark, but this is terrible lighting.
Not opaque the way that
it's not opaque. It's you can possibly.
You'll have to try these experiments for yourself. We'll get better lighting perhaps for the next run.
Yeah, it's because I don't get paid to do beer reviews, and the money that I do get paid doesn't cover overhead lighting.
It doesn't cover overhead costs.
Doesn't cover overhead. That's great. What's our next beer?
Our next beer is New Belgium Ranger IPA.
New Belgium Ranger IPA. Now, where's New Belgium out of?
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, wait, was that the brewery that?
Flying Dog.
Flying Dog. Flying Dog was the one that said disparaging things about it.
New Belgium is better known for their Fat Tire, their 1554.
Oh, that's a good one.
Pump Kick, which we had during the Halloween season.
Right, that was nice. Pump Kick, nice. Well, what? It was pumpkin ale.
Yeah.
It was all right.
It's the one with the cranberries.
Oh.
It's the one we couldn't drink.
Well, they had regular Pump Kick without the cranberries.
Did they?
They did. They, nebulous they.
They.
The ones I speak to in the fields, the faceless ones.
All right. Tip your hat to our beer rangers in the field who inspired this well-balanced IPA, packed with Simcoe, Cascade, and Chinook hops. Count on citrus aromas and piney surroundings.
The faceless ones.
I'm outdoorsy. I like drinking outside.
I'm outdoorsy and they'll drinking outside.
I know how it can be piney. It is an IPA after all.
Alright, now Ms. Rita here does not like IPAs necessarily.
We've said this before?
And,
say it again.
Oh, excuse me, this is hazard of the job. Okay, so color, you want to talk about the color? It looks like beer. It's
I mean, it is, I think it's perhaps a little darker maybe than the Lightning Kugels. It's definitely lighter than the Scotch Ale.
Oh yeah,
it is translucent for sure.
Yeah, marginally darker, but it's a beer color. It's not an amber.
It's a beer color.
Obviously, it's an IPA. So. Okay. Wow.
It tastes like trees.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about IPAs and how they have a lot of hoppiness and they've got a lot of IBUs and they're bitter and floral and whatever. This one takes that sort of quality to a slightly different level. It really just tastes like they left some pine branches in the fermenter.
These are my piney surroundings.
Yeah. I mean, it tastes like someone poured like 3 shots of gin into the IPA. It has that sort of pine quality.
I was going to go for Christmas tree. You went for gin. They're very similar.
Well, gin tastes like Christmas trees.
It's true.
Gin is pine sol for the soul. Allows you to disinfect your conscience.
I thought it was more pine sol for your gastrointestinal tract.
No, that's called pine sol. So, today's lightning round, what do we have?
Today's lightning round, we have Foster's. It's Australian for beer.
How big is that can? That's a big can.
It is 25.4 ounces.
That's 750 milliliters. That's a fifth of beer.
It's a poor man's 40.
All right. Now I remember when I was first drinking, I found a can of Foster's. I got a hold of a can of Foster's.
On the side of the road.
On the side of the road. No one wanted it. and I realized that it was actually brewed in Canada. So my tagline became Foster's. It's Australian for Canadian beer. But I read the can on this one just to see if that was.
Australian accent?
It's terrible. I was read the can on this one to see if that was still the case, and it turns out it's canned under the supervision of Foster's Australia in Fort Worth, Texas, and Albany, Georgia. And I'll tell you, I drove through Albany one time.
And?
I drove through Albany one time.
I once landed in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport.
All right.
I took a nap.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and put 30 seconds on the clock, see how many clever things we can say about this beer.
Alrighty. It's yeller.
Tastes like wallaby piss.
Tastes like water. Warm water.
Feels like going down under.
Our technicians are on strike, so this is the third time we've tried this, and our beer's a bit warm by now.
Tastes like warm wallaby piss.
Tastes like warm domestic.
Thank you for joining us here on Beer Reviews tonight.
Thank you for your patience.
Where we review beers in a way that you, the casual beer drinker, and the toilet is running, in a way that you, the casual beer drinker, can understand.
Thank you.
Swing it, man.
If I brewed a lager, I'd call it Lagerhead.
I'd be surprised if there's not already a Lagerhead lager.
It's probably from Kona.
Swing
Yeah.
it, man.
If you're surrounded by wallabies, if you just clap your hands real loud, they will run off into a fence and kill themselves.